Born out of necessity in 1949, evolving in 1952, and really making its name in 1969. We are at Liebherr today, and we're about to step into 56,000 square meters of space. Technology, how it's being built, some history. We got Felix and Peter waiting inside for us. So I have my Liebherr shoes on today. As you can see, these are my walking shoes. So strap on your boots as well, because we have a long factory tour, a long story, but worthwhile. In fact, when we get to the end of this factory, you'll get to see a machine that hasn't even been released yet. So don't fast forward and don't hit stop. Follow us all the way to the end. I invite you inside where Felix is waiting for us, because this is Liebherr. And would you believe just all the grinding and skiving that they do? It is absolute artwork, and I cannot wait to show you guys more of what's going on inside this facility. Felix,
hey,
I feel like I just saw you in Florida and a few other places. You hopped the pond as well, huh?
I did. Welcome to Germany. Glad to have you here, and want to show you here the impressive Liebherr factory where we build our gear, cutting gear measuring machines, automation equipment. So yeah, really excited to have you here in Germany.
Me too. You made a promise to me,
Yes.
and I've been salivating. Yeah, that's the word. Salivating at the lips ever since you told me about this place. And to actually be here, I gotta be honest, I'm a little bit like a kid at Disney right now. Is how I feel. Yeah.
You should. I hope I didn't disappoint you at the podcast, but this is a really impressive factory. As much as I would love to actually do the factory tour today, though, I'm going to introduce you to my colleague Peter Wiedemann, board director of the factory here. He's responsible globally for this division. So I'd like to introduce you to Peter, and I hope you have a great factory tour with Peter today.
Absolutely. Well, I'm looking forward to meeting Peter also. And let me be honest, Felix, you never disappoint. I mean,
I hope so.
Whether it's the podcast we're doing together, whether we're filming at IMTS one of these years, or whether we're just hanging out and enjoying each other's company, my friend, you never ever disappoint. So thank you so much.
Thank you, Tony.
Absolutely. Peter, it's really good to see you,
Tony,
my friend. How are you today?
Very well. How are you, Tony? Good seeing you.
It's good to see you as well. It's good to meet you. I have a feeling you might be strategically placed in front of this map for a reason.
Oh, there is a lot of reasons, actually, some 14 reasons to stand in front of this map, because this is representing what we are doing globally. Tony, the gear and automation department, which I have the joy to be responsible for, is really a global company. So we are a machine tool builder, is a sizable company with some 1,700 people, employees, very, very bright people, because the gear world is somehow tricky. And this map represents a little bit where we are at. This is not only where we are at, this is showing our subsidiaries, our own subsidiaries as gear and automation facility. However, of course, as a global supplier for gear machines, and one of the biggest ones, we are represented in every spot, in every corner of the globe. So wherever you don't see a location, a Liebherr location, you will find sales and service agencies working for us. Being a global team, a very, very bright and talented team, which we need because gears can get complex sometimes.
Yeah, you're absolutely correct. And some pieces of this I want to dive into, but I mean, I'm not joking, guys. 56,000 square meters on the inside. So a lot of this I'm going to bring up while we walk. Otherwise, this audience is going to be watching us for probably the next 3.5 days, which is okay by me.
That's totally okay for me too.
But as we take this walk, what you were talking about being around the world and knowing Liebherr, I made the introduction outside, Peter, where you guys started 1949, right?
Right.
And then immediately the idea was conceived of 1952. We need to be able to make our own products. Really solidified yourself around 1969. We talked about 56,000 square feet. You are strategically placed in different areas around the world. But you've also mentioned, because to be fair, and you also said that gears are artwork, and they are, and we can sometimes be complex. The department that we're in, as massive as it is, would actually be considered one of the smaller areas of Liebherr family group, right?
Oh, absolutely.
And your strategy, which I love and the audience should understand, is the fact that you support each other and already Liebherrs around the world. So you can strategically move into any area as necessary.
That's very true, yeah. Like you mentioned, Tony, we are a pretty small, sizable company out of the Liebherr group. The 1,700 employees reflect a pretty sizable organization for a machine tool builder, but being part of this big family-owned group, Liebherr, we are a very, very small piece of the pie. However, the big organization Liebherr helps us to create a massive footprint all over the world. So with 54,000 employees, the Liebherr group really represent a lot of businesses, very diversified businesses, and we participate in that. To our benefits, the big group of companies helps us to be sustainable, to be the partner for our customers, for our business partners forever, basically. Our core competence, or one of our mottos, is definitely being a partner, not being in for the short sale. So for us, it's very important to have these strategic partnerships with customers, business partners alike.
And we're going to get more into this because I know the audience is curious, but we have to also talk about the department we're in right now, because we can't just walk through here and leave all these wonderful, amazing people out, right? So what department are we currently in as we first step into this factory?
Yeah, this is our pre-assembly for subcomponents. We see some cutting heads here, main machining heads. Our core pieces of our machines basically are the cutting heads and the machining tables. This is where the quality of the gear typically comes from. And all of these parts and sub-assemblies are basically manufactured here in this facility. And the pre-assembly department has to guarantee for their subcomponent the right quality to the internal customer, which is the final assembly, where the machines then will be put together. We'll be seeing a little bit more about that later.
Yeah, it'll be my job today to ask you all the right questions to put all these puzzle pieces together in this massive facility, because there are many different components that bring it all together. And since you know all the answers, I have the right guy for the camera.
I'll try.
And so pre-assembly, the way you described it just now, these guys are pretty important.
Yes.
This is really where it all starts. This is
Yes.
the birth of the machine.
Absolutely. Like I said, some core components we will never have assembled outside of this plant. So there's a lot of know-how going into these critical components in regards to really achieving the quality necessary. And these gears, like I mentioned already, they not only can become a little bit complex, they are also, very much in many applications the centerpiece. Whenever something is turning, the gear needs to be in the right quality. And our customers don't necessarily buy machine tools. They want a stable process in order to guarantee these right end quality for their parts to be supplied to other customers or used for their own needs. So we are not only, like I said, a machine tool builder. We support with processes, and this is what the customers really understand, and I think this is what they also appreciate.
100%. And your name is everywhere, and your customers are everywhere. And I can vouch for that by saying that I've heard your customers say this is what they want and this is what they love about a global leader like yourself. When we talk about needing these skilled workers, we've said this a couple of times, we're going to say it many more times throughout this video, what it takes to work in this world of manufacturing. I've spent a lot of time in manufacturing,
Right,
you have as
right.
well. Our audience are all people in the engineering world that are either curious about manufacturing or already in manufacturing. You have an apprenticeship program that's quite admirable. I know we're going to talk a little bit about that as well, and that's how you continue to sustain this high level of quality throughout the years, rotating people in to make sure that they're all educated, right?
Yes, yes. So our apprenticeship program is very important for us because not only can we achieve our own talents out of this apprenticeship program, but also we can give the broader audience also the experience what it means to work in manufacturing. And I think for the younger generation, or very often when you read the news or have some conversations, people talk negatively about the attitude of younger generation, and I don't see that. You know, we have these apprentices, and in our company we hire every year an additional 25 to 30 apprentices in order to really help them understand manufacturing, and we also get very quality, high quality feedback from them. So I see their eyes open. I see them really wanting to do to strive when it comes to technology, and that's something which I think is very important. So not talking negatively about younger generation. They may be different than the old guys like me, like I am. However, I think they have very high quality and good attitude, and they bring to the table what we expect. So this is very important for us to have this ongoing training, to have this ongoing exchange of information, because looking at things differently, this is where the younger generation also can help us understand, you know, everything a little bit differently or better even.
I'm happy that you appreciate that, and by all means, even though we're on camera, you can put me into the old guy group too. I'm there now, my friends. I'm already there. Now, before we head over into a direction of extreme fascination, just to get everyone excited, I want to take a small pit stop, because as it's my job to put some of these puzzle pieces together, we were just in an area that's very important. It's where the birthplace of the machine is. We brought up apprenticeships because we have to keep the people flowing through, but you also have a refurb program that actually connects with this. So we're going to connect those dots so people understand. It might seem a little out of place where I bring up refurb right at the beginning, but you're going to find out why in just a minute. So let's step over to refurb before we come back here and head over to that fascinating area, shall we?
Okay, sure.
So we've made it into the refurb area, and yes, we're connecting puzzle pieces because we are working in 56,000 square meters of space. And again, brought my shoes for a reason. Not my balance, apparently, but I brought my shoes for a reason. All right, Peter, we're in the refurb area. This is where we need to make a pit stop. It's a little off a detour off of our main tour, but it's very important to talk about, because when you guys make refurb a product, when somebody sends it in, and I'll let you go into the details of it, it's actually a lot of the same guys that know the technology from the beginning, which is why we're stopping here to learn a little bit more about how this area works. So explain to the audience, the customers, when they have a machine that's been running for 5, 10, 15, 20, 30 years, what can be done in this area and what they get in return?
Yeah, I'm always joking about our machines because they last so long. Being in sales, I would like to also sell new machines. However, just joking. However, these machines running for so long, of course, we try to also give them a second life or even a third life sometimes. And we are here in this area in our repair shop where our people are disassembling components for our customers, checking them really to the pieces, and then evaluate whatever component and part can be reused, and then put these parts together again in order to achieve a second life, but also the highest quality possible. So we also guarantee, with all these components we repair here, we guarantee basically the same quality as new. And that's very important for our customers. And what we see here is a machining head of a bigger machine, a 6-meter hobbing machine. This head is very expensive, of course, also when it's new, but from the hobbing head and also the table, the quality comes from, and that's very important for our customers to make sure these key components run in the highest quality with the tight tolerances necessary in order to really make the right gear in the right size at the right quality. Repair shop is also internally a supplier. We also have a reman department where we overhaul complete machines. This shop will do the subcomponents, the mechanical subcomponents, in a way that also these reman machine can be used in a second life. What we do add in our reman department is typically also a new controller to it. That's very important too, because controllers every 10 years or so get obsolete, and our customers, of course, need to make sure they can buy spare parts for a longer time. And this is what the whole reman program entails for us. These components, like I said, very important as key components, but the machine in the end will bring the quality.
And then we're going to get to see that department you're
Yeah,
talking about as the reman department as well. So everything you just described, we'll be able to discuss a bit further in detail and show the audience what we're talking about. Well, let's head back over to the main part of the tour. But I agree with you. That catch-22, we always want to sell more, but we got to make quality.
Right.
And by making quality, sometimes they last forever.
Got it.
That's what the refurb is for.
Yes.
All right, let's head back to the other part of the tour. Well, we're back on track, back on our tour. We had to take that pit stop. Very important for you guys to understand, and we will see more of that come into the future, along with some automation. And as I promised at the very beginning, a machine you've never seen before, never even been released before, so you have to stay to the end. But for now, if we take a peek through this window, there's something going on that I have never seen before, and it is fascinating. Peter, would you mind telling the audience what we're looking at?
Well, sure. Well, this section is our cylindrical parts manufacturing. So we make a lot of parts ourselves. I already explained a little bit about the importance of two main components, which is machining head and table. A lot of cylindrical round parts are used in these major components or major assemblies, and we make a lot of them in-house. So our vertical integration is about 50%, and of course we need the right machines for the right processes, and this is what you can see down here. This area, like I said, very important for us because the key components, the key parts for the key components are made here, and we trust ourselves in being able to support these high quality requirements.
A lot of us learned a valuable lesson over the last few years about what happens when we're not making all of our own components or having them locally sourced, didn't we?
Yes.
But you guys kind of had that mindset, the owner had that mindset from the very beginning.
Yeah.
And that's kind of how Liebherr works, right?
Exactly, yeah. And thanks for touching on the history a little bit, Tony, because for us it's also important that we have been, in our history, we have been organically growing a lot. There was a little bit of M&A here and there, but naturally the Liebherr way is growing organically. And our history also is at the very beginning of the foundation of our group. So as a machine tool builder, we were basically invented by Mr. Hans Liebherr in order to make gears for his own product. He had the idea of building this tower crane, this mobile tower crane, and somehow this crane had to turn, and you cannot turn a crane without a gear and the slewing bearing and so on. So he decided to make the right machines to create the components for his first invention, which was the foundation of our history, of our company. And we are very proud to be at this very heart of our foundation of the company. And this is one example of the organic growth. And the vertical integration, as I said, is mainly a result of it, I would say. Here is Peter, the sales guy again. Sometimes I doubt you don't have to make everything in-house because you think maybe there's a less expensive way, right? But like you said, COVID taught us a lesson, and we are very happy to have the ability to make a lot of these parts and critical components by ourselves. Of course, it also adds flexibility.
Yeah, for me, when I hear a story like that, Peter, I immediately think of whether it's a few pennies here or a few dollars there, or here we're in Germany, so a few euros here, a few euros there. It really matters to be able to look at an area of the machine that we maybe could do better and know that we can do it internally. To know that if there's anything that has maybe gone wrong or needs to be improved, it can all be done here. We don't need to make a phone call, send out an order, make sure it's okay, measure everything. It's all done internally. And for me, that to me is why Liebherr continues to be so dominant globally, is because your quality is there. That quality standard is so high. And that's important to understand, because we're about to head out to another part of the floor where I want to ask you, and I segue into this and bring that also up because I want to learn from you a little bit about what you think makes the Liebherr machines different when we think about gears and we think about the capability, we think about the artwork and the complexities and the fact that you maybe don't even need to, but you can make a mirror finish on your gears if you want to.
Sure.
What do you think sets you guys apart?
Yeah, what sets us apart, of course, is also the people and the way we are doing things. And This cannot be underestimated, in my opinion. You mentioned we may not have the necessity to making phone calls because we can do so much in-house. Of course, we still make phone calls because of different departments working on it, but we understand ourselves within the group, within this organization, within the company. We understand ourselves as suppliers and internal customers. Mm-hmm. And I think this is also key in order to make the right quality product, because your internal customer is as important as our external customer is. And if we have this understanding and this mindset within our people, I think we can be successful as an organization. And this really also sets the product apart in the end. And of course, we do all the checkings, we do all the testings with subcomponents and as well with the finished machine in order to make sure our customers are happy in the end. However, the better we create things with the right people, the less headache we will have in the final acceptance department, and that's really what we are striving for.
We should have saved that conversation for the end, because that was so well answered. We could be done with this interview, except there are so many more cool things to look at. I mean, now we're in the area that I'm familiar with, Peter. I mean, I come from the machining world. Yes. I see these tools and I get excited on size, length, diameter. I hear the purr of the machines. And then if we walk around the corner, which we will in just a minute, that automation cell brings my heart so much joy. So let's tell the audience what department we're in now and what we're working on.
Yeah, that's part of our large casting machining. What looks like a maze here with all the tools sitting around is a very important facility for us. It's two bigger machining centers hooked up with an automation system. Lot size 1 can be run 100% automatically with these machines 24/7, and we make our bigger the machining for our bigger parts, which are casting parts, in-house, because also here we see some advantage in making these parts in-house due to the quality requirements we have. And you can also feel here in this area, it may be 30 degrees Celsius outside, but of course in this area it's temperature controlled. And also this is a recipe for the high quality. Hooking up these machines with automation was a big step also for us internally, because this automation size is also very, very large, and the parts weight is also very heavy. So in these terms, we also had some headaches putting the system in. On the other hand, ever since we have done it, we wouldn't really change back to manual loading and unloading of these machines anymore.
No, I couldn't imagine. I wouldn't want to manual. You can't go this route and then have to do manual again. But I look at this area, Peter, and this is one of the many things that I love about Liebherr. If I'm being transparent and honest, we're here to talk about gears. We're here to talk about your gear machines, skiving, this type of thing, and your capabilities. But you do so many different components, and I see Liebherr on that automation right up there.
Yes.
And I know how much of that you do, even when connecting other people's machines. So when I see you utilizing it here in your own facility, I know that you're constantly maximizing its improvements and capabilities for everyone else out there, because you're using it internally. On top of that, as I take a big deep breath, yes, this is my excitement. On top of that is I see all of these castings that are here, and I know that it comes in raw and it leaves ready for paint.
Right.
And that's because of the quality you put into this automation cell, as you said, runs 24/7 to take care of the people out there. This is all the stuff that I love about what you guys do in this section.
Yeah, very cool stuff. I like it too. I used to joke with this automation cell that we only installed it because we want to sell it, to be shown to customers. But believe me, this is high productivity here, right here, and we like it. We like not only the system, we like the efficiency coming out of the whole system, not only our automation, but also the machines and also of course, it's the people again, the workers like to work with this type of equipment because they can rely on it, and that's very important too.
Well, they look like they've lost a little muscle because they're not lifting them one at a time anymore. That's how they were doing it,
yeah,
right?
now we should write a bill to the gym. You know, they are now going to the gym instead.
Yeah, well, probably less back injury at this point as well. And
True.
you definitely cannot go back after loading them this way. I believe it's 30 pallets feeding 2 machines.
Yes, yes.
Running 24/7 in
Right.
order to make this operation work. I mean, look
Yeah.
at the size. Look how beautiful
Yeah.
this is coming off of the machine. I mean, I don't know. Maybe it's just me. I get excited. This is you. You get to see it every day. I get excited, Peter.
That's great to hear, yeah, Tony. And the part weight of these machining beds is above 10 metric tons, so it's about 13 metric tons. That's the part weight we can lift, we can move around. And again, for me, it's also breathtaking to see that. And I really like not only the system, I like the ability to really rely on it. So we don't really have any issues with this cell in order to, you know, have the right products at the right time, at the right place, especially when we later look at the final assembly. Here it's important, again, internal customer, the final assembly needs to have the parts in the right quality, at the right time, at the right place. And that's one piece of the puzzle which is very important for us.
And there are many, many pieces of the puzzle. Fortunately, that's the same thing I bench press. So I'm not sure if you know that or not, but that
No,
weight
I
you just
don't.
mentioned, yeah, same thing
Yeah.
I bench press.
Yes.
Can you tell from my giant muscles?
Yes, of course I can.
All right, so we went over to an area that was a refurb area, and I promised the audience we would learn more about the assembly of those machines and how it all comes together later on. You mentioned the department we're walking into now. Would you mind describing a little bit about what we're looking at?
Yeah, our reman department, meaning remanufacturing, this is used for really creating a second life of the whole machine. We have seen our repair shop earlier on, and the repair shop basically delivers the mechanical overhauled components to this reman department where the machine is being put together again. And especially also the controller is normally always updated because that's the most obsolete equipment typically with machines when it comes to being, you know, 20 or 25 years old. The mechanical components can be overhauled pretty easily, but the controller needs to basically be replaced. And this department is handling that. They built the machine basically up from scratch again after overhauling all the subcomponents and then debugging it, bringing in the second life into the machine, including the controller with the latest and greatest software features, which is also important. Our customers can cut gears, but maybe during the last 20 years, there were also some developments on the software side, and this is also guaranteeing our customers to be up to date again for the latest and greatest features.
And if my memory serves me correctly, or a piece of my knowledge serves me correctly, some folks out there might have spent all of their capital budget, but they do have some money expenditures in redoing a machine or rebuilding a machine. And it really comes together that you have the capability to make it as good, if not better, than it originally was. I mean, I think that's a huge bonus.
Yeah, I think also as a private person, being a customer, you know, buying a car or anything else, I think everybody is always happy to have options. So
Absolutely.
yes, we create options. A customer can, of course, come to us for a refurbishment of a machine and also save some bucks. Like you said, sometimes the budget is not coming from purchasing, but from the plant. And it's easier also to justify a refurbishment for these customers internally. But yes, we have this option for going refurbed or going overhaul, but we gladly also sell new, but it's up to the customer. And again, I think it's good to present some choices.
I agree, and I actually could use a reman for my body. Could you help me out?
Well.
Maybe my software could use an update as well. I'm not sure. Maybe you could help me out. All right, we're in an area now that I think it's important. It's another puzzle piece we're adding to the story here, and you guys, each of these components that we see, it's for a customer.
Yes.
Everything that you make, you're not stacking a bunch of things on a shelf and saying, I hope people buy them soon. You are actually, it's custom and not custom at the same time because it's a lot of similar components, but you're making each one of these when it's ordered for the customer, right?
Yeah, that's true. I mean, sometimes I would appreciate more serial production because it's a little bit easier to handle, to be honest. But yes, we built lot size 1. We really built on order for all these components. We have orders received. We typically also have down payments received from our customers. That's our principle. That's how we work. Okay, sometimes you may face some bigger orders with similar machines purchased at the same time, but naturally this is production of lot size 1. And not only are we building different sizes of machines, we also support 5 different technologies. So within the machine, of course, the machining axes and the components are also different, and we have to take care of that as well. So it's a big variation of products and machines, but with the modular design, we are able to handle it in a way that it becomes effective.
If I was a buyer, I would want to know that you're making lot size 1 for me. I would want to know that you're not just throwing a bunch of them on a shelf and be like, this one's yours.
Yes.
That would bring confidence to me, my shop. And we're about to walk into an area where we're seeing it all put together, and eventually we're going to get to an area where everything is tested. Mm-hmm. That's another key component to making sure that I, the customer, am taken care of with quality day in and day out. That brings me, again, confidence, and I know that's what you guys want to do. So as we slide into this new area, let's talk about where we are now. I know this is one of your favorites, but as we finish this whole video, the backside, I think, is everybody's favorite.
Oh,
so
absolutely.
I know we're keeping the audience around for that.
Oh, absolutely. Yeah, this is our latest addition to our factory. I think you touched on our history a little bit already. Our factory was initially built in Kempten in 1969, even though we have been building machines earlier on in a different location. And this addition, as a final assembly hall, this is the latest addition, and this was basically erected in 2011. It's a huge area of 20,000 square meters where we final assemble our machines. And you already talked about our test department. This is also home of our test department and a very important area, which is our gear measuring room. We make our own gear checking equipment, which we need in this final assembly hall because the customer, like you mentioned, identifying yourself with a one-piece flow product in the end. Our customers typically are coming in. They want to see the machine before it gets delivered to them, and not only seeing the machine, they will test and check the machine, making their own parts on their future machine. And we have to measure these parts in our gear checking area and make sure the customer is happy in the end before the machine gets delivered to them.
And as we're walking down this area, I believe it's fair for the audience to know that there's, I believe, 13 stations, and in 13 days, this process is done.
Yes, every day 1 station, and also back to lot size 1. No machine is similar to the machine 1 day before. So our workers also have to be a little bit flexible. In 2 different sizes we can build the machines here in this tech assembly, but with every technology. So with the technology, components change. People who work here have to be prepared to also handle different technologies in order to really understand the right quality in regards to putting it together. Of course, there are checks, tolerance checks done in every day after every station. However, we need to make sure that we shouldn't have to check it.
The Germans around the world are known for quality, and you are certainly not letting us down today, my friend. Seeing all of the checks, process after process after process. Now, we have a little bit of a, let's say, a little bit of a space where we can discuss other areas outside of this building before we get to one of your inspection areas. So let's touch again quickly on apprenticeship and automation, because we're going to have a completely separate video focused on those, but they're just to the other side in the building over there. We're not going to get to it in this video, but I'd like to touch on it so that everyone knows that's a video we can watch as well and learn more about it. So automation apprenticeship, let's talk about what you guys have going on there.
So also on this campus we have a different location just across the street basically, which where we produce our automation systems. And this idea was born also out of our own needs. So in the 80s, we decided to also automate some of our own machines, the gear machines, with some simple automation. And here there was some, I would say, there was some demand on the market which we didn't really foresee, but there was a demand on the market to have individual automation companies helping to automate different lines, and this is how this grew for us. So especially in the ICE world, motor blocks, motor heads, also crankshafts and camshafts were typically handled in the past manually or through some transfer lines, and we created this automation in order to not only automatically load and unload these machines, but also being the brain of the system. So we also created the environment software-wise in order to make sure we exhaust the highest productivity out of these lines with automating different machine tools. And so this automation side really became a self-sustainable product area within our group.
Very, very well said. And perfect timing, because now we're at the machine training center only. It's kind of a little misleading if we're being fair, Peter, because this first room is all about testing.
Yes.
You got to make sure the parts are good. So
yes.
Would you mind describing what the first room is for, and then machine training center, discuss a little bit of that as well?
Yeah, like I said, our customers want to see their parts made on their machine or on their future machine before they take delivery. And this is our testing department for measuring these parts. So customer parts, after they are machined on these new machines before delivery, they are measured here on our own gear checking equipment. And then we typically also do, whenever the customer demands, a statistical evaluation of these quality or of the quality requirements given by the customers. The machine has to fulfill that. And after we have done all the testing and evaluations, the customer typically signs a protocol for run-off, and then we can deliver the machine. So that's all done here, right at the shop, which is good because we are very close to the machines. The customer can see everything we do very transparently, and also can witness the checking, so there is no cheating or whatnot. So, but the trust typically is already there.
Yeah,
so.
Of course it is. Of course it is. And 20,000 square feet. I see why you're proud of this area. I want to invite the audience. I believe we have maybe my most excited area, although I think I've been quite animated about several areas in their facility, if I'm being being honest there, Peter. But so this area we're getting ready to walk into, it's like testing, it's development. Mm-hmm. It's an area where we might see something for the first time ever, if I'm not mistaken. And maybe how do we get in here? Oh, there's a door. There's a door. Obviously, I'm joking, guys. I just wanted to see if somebody was going to let me in or if they were going to kick me out. And they let me in, so that's good news. But the area we're about to walk into is fascinating because there's pieces and components and software and testing that might not be seen anywhere else or even out in the world. And that's what's so fun about this section. And I'm being purposely a little bit long-winded, Peter, because we have a machine just to the right that has never been seen ever before. Can we talk about this whole area and a little bit focus on the machine that I promised everyone from the beginning of this video 3 hours ago that they were going to get to see?
Okay, stepping into the 4th hour now.
Yeah.
This is our testing area, as you described, Tony. And in our testing area, we not only do testing for our own sake, meaning new products are tested, before we go into serial production with these products. We also do a lot of customer tests here. So typically, customers, before they put a technology into serial production, they want to know how this end quality really comes out, and also how it can be machined, of course, in a certain amount of time, which typically has to be a reduced cycle time from the past process, of course. And we do a lot of this testing here with a young team, a very energetic team. This is what I said also about our people really, they are driving this, and it's a young generation doing all the tests, not only for our customers, but also for ourselves, in order to find out what are the best processes and maybe also processes for the future. You mentioned Merle-like finish gears, and these gear flanks are very, very critically to make. And we have all the know-how here, which is good, having the own application experts in-house in regards to making sure we drive this technology. And somehow, I've been doing this for 20 years now. Somehow the gear never gets boring, Tony. It never gets boring. There's always something new, and it's happening here, which is cool. Talking about this machine, yes, this machine.
How much details do we want to give away? I know this has never been seen before.
Yeah, that's our brand new profile grinding machine, but it's not only a profile grinder, as people may have seen it. You see 2 discs here mounted to 2 different spindles, and it's only a sneak peek. I cannot talk too much about it yet.
I was wondering how much I was going to get out of you.
If you see 2 spindles, you may guess that there is a lot of productivity embedded into this envelope.
Yeah, I can only imagine. I look forward to the release. But thank you for allowing us that little bit of sneak peek.
Sure.
It's enough for a teaser, you know?
Well, we even turned the light on.
Thank you for doing
Yes,
that.
Sure.
For everyone watching, if there's a part of this tour that you want to go into more detail of, do not worry. We are going to visit with each of the technicians in each of the departments so we can dive into details of how each of these areas work. Peter and I just walked about 55 million, no, obviously not million, but it is seriously 56,000 square meters of space in this building, 20,000 just in this new area here. I brought these shoes for a reason, and we walked it all. I hope you've enjoyed this tour, but there are parts of it as we spoke at kind of a high level to make sure that we kept you engaged along the way. But if there's any part you want to know more detail of, because these machines are some of the best in the world, stay tuned for those videos because we are making those for you as well. Peter, thank you
Thanks
so
a
much,
lot,
my
Tony.
friend. That was really incredible.
Thank you. Thanks a lot.